Joining me on the Gallery Watch today is a vocal powerhouse, has worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, was part of a boy band, the Le Band. Sijui kama nimesha release, nimeunleash kila kitu. You already know who I'm talking about, but has since ventured into a solo career and is thriving on his own with his hit songs, Unavyonipenda, Marry You Twice, for those of you who are, you know, like those lovey-dovey guys, and many more. In studio with us is none other than... Wait, this needs drum rolls. This one needs drum rolls. Drum rolls, please. Kwanza hata nimesharp. Drum rolls, please.
I'm so
Charisma.
Yeah. Yes.
How you doing?
I am great. I'm really good. And you?
I'm good.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Nimekumiss.
Imekuwa ni muda.
Sinakwambia hata ni kama sura yangu imechange kwako.
Tukipatana hata
huko kwa TV. Niandike basi.
Sasa wana mambo yamebadilika.
Nakwambia. Wewe umekuwa rasta man.
Mimi nimekuwa mrasta.
Mrasta?
Na siringi.
Zimekuwa refu.
Ni God.
Wewe na Bob Marley. Same WhatsApp. How you doing? Like,
I'm great, man. I'm great. Just been working. Trying to cope with the whole situation everyone has been facing with COVID and everything. But I mean, we're just grinding, I guess. We've been preparing for an album, an EP. So we're just like, we're literally on say to go to job, yani.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually brought you here because I felt like you are the best person to talk about, you know, earnings in the industry.
Okay.
You know, because you've been here for a while. I mean, you've worked with people like Calligraph, but we're going to talk about that as we move on. So tell us how you started your musical journey.
Wow, I was never a musician actually. Like, I never used to love music.
Are you serious?
In that kind of sense as a performer.
Can you give them a little bit before we even sample anything? Give them a little bit about what you're talking about.
Yeah, so listen, now I can sing and I can do those things. Make I tell you this, I wanna marry you twice. That will make me feel nice, make you be my wife.
Hey.
Let's do this for life. Let's do this for life. Yeah, so I mean,
watu hapa nyuma wao watu wako behind the scenes. Wanakufa.
And I mean now I can sing, but I was never a singer. I used to be really into sports. So I went to school in Nairobi school, and the sport I used to play then was rugby. Back in primary I used to play football, but what happened to me is I broke my collarbone, and it got to a point where the doctors were like, if you keep playing this game after I finished high school now, I was doing club rugby, they were like, if you keep doing this game, you're gonna rupture something and you won't be able to use your shoulder. So that was the end for me with all these things. And I always tell guys, it's so weird because I always say, or rather I always said, singing was for, I used to have this toxic thing about me. Like, I was like, singing is for girls. It's not a man thing to do. And look at me now. But yeah, so after I broke my collarbone, I started looking for other things I could do because I was like, no, I just can't be those guys who go to uni and that's all I'm doing. So I joined law school, and while in law school, I met up. Yes. I met up with a couple of guys who were brilliant singers while in church. And
you started off in church?
Yeah, mimi ni mtoto wa kanisa.
Where? Church gani?
So Nairobi Baptist. So this guys just basically started ingraining me into their stuff, and it was really hard then, especially because I was in school. I was trying to do this thing that I'm not even really good at, because back then I sucked. Like, I couldn't sing, I couldn't keep my voice warm for a long time and all those kind of things. So ilikuwa hard, but nilianza tu na after unachekile tu mse una deciding like, this is what I want to do, and you decide to take off with it, and you're like, you're consistent, you're practicing every single time. And that's how I became a musician, and now it's something I can't even see myself not doing.
Right?
Yeah.
And how was that for you, knowing that this is the, this is the direction that you wanted to do, or this is the direction that you wanted to go with yourself, and then all of a sudden, like, dreams are cut short, and then
Yeah.
you have to now start pivoting and
Yes.
start thinking about what you're going to do next. And then me, I'm just thinking about how you've said that you did you know that you could sing?
No, actually no.
How?
Yeah,
Did
so-
you hear yourself sing?
You see, people always say this thing and people think it's a joke, but the voice box is like a muscle. Like the more you
Right.
practice, the better it gets.
Right.
You know,
Nobody ever told you, oh, you can sing.
it was those ones for Kosama. But no, like I wouldn't get at I sing some place and girls are like, ah. Or there was never and I wasn't even confident enough to sing in front of people because I never thought I was a good singer. Yeah, so one time the actual reason I was made to sing is because I was lead director for a concert. I used to be an actor. Like that's the thing I did most of my life, even in high school.
Actor, engineer,
Yeah,
lawyer.
yeah, that's what I used to do. So I remember at the concert, the dudes didn't want to sing. So, and I used to be very influential with the kids in church, yeah. So guys were like, Fidel, if you come and sing, you know what, these kids will want to sing. Yeah, so they forced me to sing and I sang and one guy was like, you can actually sing. So you'll actually sing that solo, and I was like, no, no, yeah.
It was
and-
jitters.
Yeah.
It
But
was-
it was fun. I mean, I look back at it and I'm like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have started.
Right.
Yeah.
The first time I ever heard your voice,
Yeah.
it was on radio. I think
Yeah.
it was on Kiss 100.
Yeah.
And it was this song with Calligraph Jones. Was it Calligraph Jones or which song?
I have to jams with That was back with the band, yeah.
No, not when you had short dreads. With Leban.
Yes, Kantai.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, I did my research. Nilikuona.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't go to YouTube and watch that video. Don't watch that video.
I remember it.
Eh.
So, I heard that voice and I'm like, what? This
My
is
God.
gold. This is gold.
Really?
Yeah, not even Kantai, wachana na hiyo. Sasa kulikuwa na hii ili blew up.
Yeah,
like, ili blew
Nakupenda.
up.
Yeah, that was number one. Nakupenda. Those are the songs that really
Right?
did things for us. Yeah.
So, what's up? Like, why did you wachana with Leban?
This question, I always say it's so unfair because I'm literally the only one who's like active from the group.
Right.
Yeah? So there's no one else who's asked this question. So it's always charisma.
Yeah, why did
What
you
happened
guys
to
stop?
Leban? Oh, and then because I'm active, why did you leave Leban?
Yeah, or why did you leave?
Yeah.
It seems as though people are like, you were selfish.
Wendo uliamua kutoka
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
But listen, the thing about a group, it's like a marriage. It's like any relationship, yeah. And the thing about relationships is it gets to a point where you're not necessarily growing in the relationship, or it just doesn't work for you anymore, and your goals are on different levels, and you feel like where this guy is at is not where I'm at, where this guy wants to go is not where I'm going, yeah? So we kind of had a divorce, an amicable divorce, in the sense that we just sat down and were like, yeah. We sat down and were like, unajua mimi nataka kufanya hivi na feel kawe goal yako sasa imekuwa hii na yangu imekuwa hii. So it was very amicable. We didn't have beef or anything. For example, Ken and I are still boys. Ken is man in the base. We're still boys, kabisa. Like we chill every single day, and he supports my music. I support him. What he's doing. He's coming back into the music scene soon. Joel is doing music also. So we support each other. It's just we weren't on the same place we were when we were beginning.
Yeah.
So we just chose to say like, thank God for what we've been able to do as a group. It's time to move on to the next step.
And how was that coming in as a solo artist? Was it
It's
scary?
hard. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen,
Let's talk
I
about
respect. I respect solo artists because people. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, I guess. So there's the benefits of being in a group. There's the benefits of being a solo artist. So in a group, for example, it was very easy to songwrite because I used to write a lot of the music, but even when we wrote together, it was easy. But even when you're writing for the group, you see, there's something I always tell guys. You see, when I write a song as Charisma, to be Charisma's song, I have to think of how verse 1, verse 2 will be delivered and not sound the same or redundant. And then, but then you see with the group, Ken has his own way of singing, Joel has his own way of singing.
So like this joint, like,
it's
you know,
very easy to be dynamic.
Yeah, very
it's
easy.
It's much harder to be dynamic as a solo, especially coming from a group, because it's not something you're used to going through. It's the thing about a group again. The Kenyan music industry is hard, and I like that we're going to talk about how you make money. Yeah. But this one is a double-edged sword because it works two ways. So in terms of earning, in a group, it's a bit crazy because you're dividing with a bunch of people. But the good thing with a group is, especially when you're starting out, mna contribute do pamoja. So naweza kuwa nataka kushoot video ya 100k tuseme, but naona katu kwa wase wanne 25. But kama ni msemo mmoja, hiyo ni 100k wote na sina. So there was so many challenges from it, and I just think it's made me grow. I think the one thing I really like about being a solo artist is I make my own decisions. I like the fact that me ndio end all be all for everything. But it's very challenging.
Let's talk about, I like what you've said in terms of finances. How is you coming in as a solo artist? Now you've decided Charisma as a solo artist. And you're saying that you're actually doing these things by yourself. Okay, unahitaji branding, unahitaji styling, unahitaji manager, unahitaji music video, unahitaji expose muziki, unahitaji so interviews like this, you know?
You even, and people take this for granted, even fare or fuel money to get to the interviews, that needs to come from somewhere. Like all that money needs to come from somewhere. And to be honest, it's what makes a lot of artists quit the music industry because it's very expensive.
So then how, as an artist, do you actually now say, okay, this is me, this is Charisma, and I want to manage myself like this, This is the amount of money I'm going to charge for a show. Do you know why? I have a band. Obviously, you sing, so you have to have live music. You have to perform with a live band. Inahitaji do ya kuja na hata kama ni pick up. Hata kama ukupee do lazima kuja na mkokoteni because you're not going to use you're not going to keyboard, hawezi kukimbia kutoka Kiambu and all those things. So would you tell us what you need as an artist to brand yourself in order to know, or is it package yourself? That's the word that I'm going to use. Package yourself in order to know this is what you're worth.
Now, and this is the place that we normally have conflict of interest as artists, So there's that point of where you value yourself. And this is a thing even I am still trying to crack, So here's where I value myself, but here's where the market values me. You understand? So I think it's, first of all, it's very important to understand that gap and know this is where I am. Okay, this is how I feel about myself, but this is where I am. So how do I come here and make it work? Because, for example, let me tell you, when I quit the band, I remember that one of the first things was the band was being paid a certain way for shows, which was good for all of us. Like, we were used to being paid like that. But then what happens is I start a solo career, and all of a sudden, event organizers are telling you, you're not the band.
What?
You're not the band. When you Charisma, pesa imerudi chini, your money has gone down. You're not, because I'm not going to perform the band, I'm going as Charisma. So there's a place I had valued myself, which is cool, but there's a place where I am actually at. So I had to find the go between those two things. And I think for me, the one thing that really helped me coming in as a solo artist is I was open-minded and I knew where I was, and I was like, again, once you have those kind of things, I think it dictates everything else going forward, because you know this is what I have and this is what I'm able to afford, and you go with that.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this question, but you're going to ask it before we go on a break. Now, umesema ni lazima Charisma haimbe. What is it that makes one artist more valuable than the other? Because okay, Charisma, you can tell me for a fact there are people outside there who can sing way less than you, but are getting much more.
Yeah, for sure. But you see, and this is the thing. Someone, Tim Rimbui, told me this thing back in the day. He told me talent counts for 5% in this industry. The 95% is
you tell us about that, but then we have to go on a break. But before we do, sing "Marry You" twice for us before. I think they're going to bring in the beats so you can sing for us.
I got you.